Hello everyone, my name's Addi.
And my name's Taylor, and we worked on the behaviorist theory.
So background information. Behaviorism is a learning theory based on the idea that a behavior can be controlled or modified, and that's based on the antecedents and the consequences of the behavior. And an antecedent is a thing or event that existed before or logically precedes another. An example of this is in the classroom, a behavior will only occur if given the right environment or antecedent. So the behavior is more or less likely to occur based on the reinforcements or consequences that follow, such as a reward or punishment. Some more background information is that the theory was first founded in 1897 by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian physiologist, while he was experimenting with the conditioning on dogs. So his experiment was he was learning about the system of animals and measuring the dogs' salivation rates, and he found out that they would start to salivate when they heard or smelt the food or like into anticipation of their feedings, and that was normal. So he also learned that they'd begin to salivate when they played certain music before they were fed, or hearing whoever was bringing them their food, their footsteps, they would begin to salivate. It was also then formally established in 1913 by John B. Watson, as you can see on the screen, in his paper, Psychology as the Behaviorist Views It. He is now known as the father of behaviorism in psychology, fun fact. Also in the 1920s, Watson and Rayner conditioned little Albert to be afraid of a white rat, so that was more of his conditioning experiments. They actually trained, and as it says, the little boy, Albert, to be afraid of the rat, and he would scream and cry when it came into the room. Also from the 1920s to the 1950s, behaviorism grew bigger and bigger and became dominant in psychology.
Core principles. So for the behaviorist theory, students are first taught to listen and speak in the second language, and then they are taught to read and write in that language. The theory revolves around the idea that a specific behavior can only be acquired through drilling, repetition, and feedback. And this feedback could be positive with rewards, or it could be negative with punishments. And then there are three processes that are involved in this theory. So the first one is imitation. This is just when students are copying the word or phrases that they hear out loud to their teacher. Repetition, which is just listening and saying the words and phrases multiple times so that the students can memorize how they sound. And then the reinforcement of grammatical structures. This is just making sure that students form grammatically correct sentences. So for example, if we were to look at the sentence, he read the new book, many students who are learning English as a second language may say the sentence as, he read the book new instead, because they are unfamiliar with the English grammar system. So one application of this theory in the classroom would be the audiolingual method. This is when students are played tape-recorded dialogues and are told to memorize them. And then once the dialogue is done playing, the students immediately repeat what they heard to their teacher, and the teacher that's listening should correct any errors that the students make immediately, rather than have the students try again on their own until they get it right. Theorists say that this is the best way to apply this theory in the classroom because it prevents bad habits from forming. And then an alternate way that this could be done is that teachers could just say the words and phrases themselves rather than have students listen to a recorded dialogue. And then they would repeat the same process, so the students would listen to the teacher, immediately repeat what they say, and the teachers would correct any errors immediately.
So the application of our theory in the classroom is a strategy known as the token economy. This is a positive reinforcement for building up and maintaining sufficient classroom performance. In order to use the token economy, you first want to tell the students how they can earn the token and what the token is. In our classroom, students would be able to earn a magnet when they get a good grade, such as a 100 on a weekly vocabulary quiz. These magnets can be on a chart with all the students' names on it displayed on the wall in the classroom, so they'd be able to see it at all times. Then you would want to describe what they can do with the tokens. So in our classroom, the tokens can be traded in for the student's choice of a toy from the box that the teacher has, or any of the options that you see, like for example in the top right, as a fun Friday, like a 30 minutes at the end of the day to do whatever they wanted or color, get a new pencil, fancy pen, some candy or toy or something for a lunch bunch. They also want to tell the students how many tokens they need in order to get this prize. So in our classroom, students would need 15 magnets in order to get a toy. Using this theory in the classroom for students who are acquiring a second language gives them the motivation to listen in class, stay on task, and ask questions, because there is that end goal of the toy or lunch bunch or whatever your toy box has in it. They want to know what's in it, they want to look, they want a new toy, and they're going to work hard to get it. This strategy also rewards students who are doing the extra work and makes them more likely to keep it up. So if the students keep getting toys, they're going to keep doing well in school because they're going to keep working hard. So this is another example of the theory in the classroom. You can have one of these on your wall with the student's name, what they want to work on, and there's a place like each square to put a magnet. In their case, they're only doing 5, where in our classroom we would have done 15. But what they're working for is lunch with a friend and an I can do it. And this is just to put on the wall, and all the students will be able to look at it, and they can always see where their progress is and how close they are to getting what they are working for.
So some issues and critiques with this theory. So critics argue that this is a one-dimensional approach to teaching students a second language. This theory doesn't account for things such as free will, as well as the students' mood, thoughts, or feelings, and this can all have a huge impact on how students learn in the classroom. This theory also doesn't account for all learning types. So not all students learn best by repetition or imitation, and not all students learn best just by listening. Some students are more visual learners or may do better with reading and writing rather than speaking and listening. And then when the teacher corrects a student immediately rather than guiding the student to the right answer or helping the student work through it, it can disrupt the student's learning process. This means that the students will expect to be told the right answer every time rather than do it on their own and work through it to get the right answer themselves. And then these are our comprehension and feedback questions. So the first question that we have is, what are the 3 processes that are involved in the behaviors theory? And then our feedback question is, what could be added to our presentation to help you understand this theory better? And then these are just the sources we use. Thank you for watching.